Analysis of the Magic Treehouse by Thorvald Pandit. Beloved by children worldwide, the Magic Treehouse series has sold over 143 million books. The series holds a lot of influence, with it being the first books that many children pick up. Personally, I really enjoyed reading the series while I was in elementary school. This was one of the first books that I truly remember enjoying. I would come home after school and read these all day until it was my bedtime. I was fascinated by the fantasy world created by Osborne and was invested in the fate of Jack and Annie. I was worried whenever the two faced danger and cheered them on whenever they managed to complete another one of the magical librarian's missions. However, after revisiting this book series through a critical lens, I realized some fundamental flaws in Osborne's novels. In particular, Buffalo Before Breakfast, the 18th book of the series, bolsters the Eurocentric ideals of today's world. It features two white protagonists, Jack and Annie, who go to a native land and save a tribe from imminent danger. The book has several problematic underlying messages that can be harmful to children, such as implying that natives are uncivilized and abnormal. Mary Pope Osborne's Magic Treehouse, Buffalo Before Breakfast, reinforces the Eurocentric view of Native Americans through the oversimplified description of their cultures, the portrayal of their tribe, and the lack of agency in the native characters. Buffalo Before Breakfast was published in 1999. In this book, Jack and Annie are transported to the Great Plains through magic in the 1800s, where they meet a Lakota boy named Black Hawk. Black Hawk takes Jack and Annie to his grandmother, who teaches them about their culture. Then they go to hunt down buffalo. After Black Hawk accidentally sneezes near a buffalo, the buffaloes become alert and stampede towards him. When Jack senses Black Hawk is unable to defend himself, he comes to Black Hawk's aid and saves the day. Worried that his sister is hurt, Jack runs to find her surrounded by calm buffaloes. Annie tells him that a spirit called the White Buffalo Woman saved her. After being thanked by the grandmother for saving the day, Jack and Annie teleport back home. The book is intended to educate young readers about the uniqueness of different cultures. However, the way the book does so is problematic and potentially impacts millions of readers negatively. Buffalo Before Breakfast blatantly reinforces imperialist ideals, bolstering the idea that the power in society is with the whites. Firstly, the novel grossly plays down the elements of the Lakota culture. It reduces a rich culture down to a few components, giving the reader a very one dimensional understanding of natives. In the novel, the buffalo is the sole object that is shown to depict the Lakota culture. The Lakotas have various traditions and customs that make them different from other Native American tribes. Yet Osborne only mentions one element in the novel whose purpose is to educate readers about the culture. The book also lacks historical context. When I first read the book as a child, I remember being surprised when I saw that the Lakota hunted buffalo. Like a normal child, I felt sad for the buffalo and therefore felt a bit of resentment towards the Lakota. The book talks about how the Lakota got resources from the buffalo, yet fails to justify this action properly. This can potentially undeservingly paint the Lakota in a bad light. The book's lack of detail and oversimplification of the Lakotas leaves many questions unanswered. Buffalo Before Breakfast's portrayal of the Lakota culture is stereotypical and does not show the right message to the children reading the book. With characters named Black Hawk and the White Buffalo Woman, the novel continues portraying natives as abnormal and exotic. They're constantly depicted as different, since Jack and Annie struggle massively to understand the thought processes of the natives. This notion can be very harmful to young children, the target audience, who may be reading chapter books about natives for the first time in their lives. Buffalo Before Breakfast has native characters who lack importance in the plot. Throughout the book, the two native characters we see, Blackhawk and his grandmother, have no character development. They're primarily there to advance the plot and help the white characters, Jack and Annie, achieve their mission. Jack and Annie are the ones learning in the book and changing, not the natives. For example, Jack understands the importance of courage at the end of the book, which he did not have at the beginning. Another incident where the native characters are undervalued is at the end of the book. When Black Hawk is in trouble because of the buffalo stampede, it is Jack who comes to the rescue. Jack shows independence as he can survive the buffaloes by himself, but Black Hawk is the one who struggles and needs help. This reinforces the societal belief that Western intervention is necessary in order for natives to succeed. Buffalo Before Breakfast may come off as a harmless children's book, but it reinforces the colonialistic ideals of the world today through the oversimplification of the Lakota culture, the portrayal of the Lakota tribe, and the insignificance of the native characters. Many people may think that a children's book is insignificant in the grand scheme of things. However, these people are unable to grasp the magnitude of the issues at stake. The book shows that the power in society is with the whites. Children at young age are very impressionable, and opinions formed in childhood can be very difficult to change. An ignorant children's book can leave a lasting impact on young children in a negative manner. This is why it is important to criticize books that are bolstering societal stereotypes. We must stand together to fight the unfair stereotypes in our society present today.